Hey, George Canizero here with another QA video. Today we're talking about suspension ribbons for the pendants of the recently completed development set for DLA Director Strategic Goals Award. Some issues with the ribbons. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about dimensions and the overall current alignment of the ribbon. I just put out 3 examples, but all of the samples have all of or some of the issues found on these 3. First thing I want to point out is the length from the top of the pendant ribbon drape down to the pleat points. On this first ribbon, you can see that the pleat point on the left hand side comes earlier than the pleat point on the right hand side, leaving some excess material here and creating an uneven line between the pleat points. That line should be even across. And similarly, just as example, on sample number 2 here, you can see that the pleat point here comes much sooner than the pleat point on the right hand side. And then finally on sample number 3, similarly again, you've got a pleat point coming up earlier here than on the opposite side. And again, those points should be directly across from each other. Taking a look at the overall length of the ribbon drape, which we measure vertically from the top of the ribbon drape down to the fold across the bottom of the drape. This should be 1 3/8 with a tolerance of 1/16 of an inch longer. So this ribbon drape is at 1 3/8 currently with a 1/16, so that meets the standard. But on the second sample, you have 1 1/2 inches in overall length, and on the third sample also you have 1 1/2 inches in overall length. And those ribbon drapes are too long, and in part that requirement is related to the appearance of the ribbon. The pendant, as it's suspended from the ribbon, should be showing some part of the pendant ring. And you can see here, I'm just using this third one as an example, when part of the pendant ring is visible, because this overall length on the drape is a 1/16 over the allowed tolerance, you can see how much excess material there is above the ribbon bar here. And in essence, there shouldn't be any excess. The ribbon should be hanging as it's assembled, like so, avoiding all of this excess ribbon at the top. Final thing I want to point out is the appearance of the moire, or the striation pattern in the ribbon. If you notice on samples 1 and 3, the moire pattern peaks going up toward the top of the ribbon. So the striations are making little mountains essentially going up. On some of the samples that were submitted, the moire pattern goes up. On the second sample here and on other samples, the moire pattern is pointing downward. Now this downward pattern is the pattern that TIOH prefers on all moire ribbon. So a 2-part request in returning these samples will be that you align the moire all going the same direction, and that direction be downward pattern. So these are the main issues we saw, and of course if you have any follow-up questions or need more information, you can get in touch with me via email. Thanks.